Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all of you. It's really a pleasure to be in this Energy Summit. As suggested by the organizer, I'm honored to extend a very hearty welcome to all of you to this Energy Summit. As you will find from the program, it has been chalked out after a lot of deliberations, and you can find there are a number of speakers, distinguished speakers, will speak on the different aspects, keeping in view the theme of the summit. We know that energy is an essential component to drive economies and to sustain societies. Energy consumption globally has been increasing over the years as we are increasing in population, and many of the countries are ascending in the development ladder. As far as 2023 data is concerned, the global energy consumption in that year was around 620 exajoules. And it is to be remembered that 80% of this energy comes from the fossil fuels, coal, oil, and gas. When we compare it with India, in that period, 2023, the energy consumption was around 40 exajoules. And our share of fossil fuels is 89%. The projections have indicated that by 2050, the global energy consumption will be around 900 exajoules. So it's a challenge meeting that energy demand for all the people, for all the countries. We are using electricity, and what we are enjoying today is essentially the result of the Industrial Revolution. That Scottish gentleman, James Watt, discovered the steam engine in 1760s. That began the Industrial Revolution. And its glorious journey over more than 200 years have really given marvelous achievement to our human societies. The Industrial Revolution has triggered the transition, energy transition, which we are talking today, but it had also triggered the energy transition from biomass and agricultural waste to coal and other mineral fuels. The marvelous achievement that has taken place because of human wisdom, science and technology and engineering, we are enjoying the fruits of that Industrial Revolution. It converted the economies based on agriculture and handicraft to economies based on large-scale industries, mechanized manufacturing, and a structured system of factories. New techniques new power systems, newer technologies, new ways of structuring or organizing work have really made the industrial countries more efficient and productive. We must acknowledge the achievement which has been done by the introduction of the steam engine and the fossil fuels. But I think today, or for some time, these achievements, though undeniable, but it certainly tells that it's not the complete story. Even after 200 years of glorious journey of industrial revolution, say up to 1960, billions of people couldn't get electricity because it singularly failed in reaching electricity because of high cost of transmission. The huge disparities of per capita energy consumption that we are seeing today can probably be no longer rationalized on the basis of uneven development in the world. There must be some other structural faults that we will have to find out. The energy what we are consuming today is contributing 2/3 of the greenhouse gases that are really causing trouble for our sustenance. In this situation, we are talking about new energy sources. Thanks to the developments which have taken place for the last 20, 30 years, that many of the countries are now diversifying their energy resources from fossil fuels to renewable energy sources. So far, already 2,000 gigawatt installations of solar have taken place. The wind installations are 1,200 gigawatts. These new technologies are progressing very fast, and we understand that unless we diversify our energy sources, we really would not be able to take the challenge of providing this huge energy demand to our future generation. But then the question is coming that if we are using solar and wind, which are variable energy sources, these are indefinite sources, these are not available all the time, these are stochastic in nature, and it cannot provide you the reliable 24/7 electricity. And so many other solutions have come up. One is diversifying the renewable energy sources themselves while connecting to the grid. Wind and solar are complementary to each other. And if you take a large area, which is now being followed by International Solar Alliance, one sun, one world, one grid, so that they can manage the imbalance and can provide a more steady flow of electricity from different sources of renewable energy at different places. And then the storage system have come up very well. Its cost has come down, its reliability has increased, and pumped hydro and the large-scale energy storage, along with complementarity of solar and wind, are destined to provide a kind of more reliable and stable electricity. And with the advent of artificial intelligence, all this data are being collected and are being very judiciously utilized to provide a very stable electricity supply. In this connection, hydrogen seems to be a very wonderful solution. without any pollution, without any emission, deriving its basic energy from renewables, it can provide probably that very desired world where energy would be clean, energy would be sustainable. But then we have to remember that we are competing with very well-established energy sources, coal, oil, and gas. But these sources, as many of you are from the hydrocarbon sector, as I can see, we live in a very uneven world. The distribution of fossil fuels are very uneven. And you can find out that the parts of the world which have 80% of the population, they get these fossil fuels from some other countries. In India, we are a net energy importing country, but in India, we import more than 85% of our oil, more than 50% of our gas. And though we are rich in coal, and last year we were the second largest producer of coal, but still the information says that 20% of coal was imported from Indonesia and South Africa. Now, in this situation, what we need to do, the very basic question that if energy is there, it should be for everyone, so that it can reach to every family in every country, which the fossil fuels, whatever may be the reasons, could not achieve so far. But these decentralized energy sources, which are also clean and which are available locally, are in a position to provide that electricity. So that's a very able competitor for these energy sources. We have seen how photovoltaics, the very technology where if you expose a solar cell to the sun, it starts producing electricity. Its cost has come down tremendously. The technology has improved and more work is being done. Already in India, we have achieved grid parity as far as solar and wind electricity is concerned. That means the cost of electricity of solar and wind is less than the cost of electricity which is available from the normal grid. And as the developments are taking place, as many new versions are coming, only a few days back I found in the news that in South Korea they have now developed those windows, normal windows, where proper spraying of the materials can produce you electricity, a kind of solar cell. Will provide you the visible radiation what you need for the room, but the other portion can be converted to electricity and you can get it. So newer technologies are coming, new methods are coming, new ways of productions are coming, and it is projected that by 2030, there will be further reduction of cost of solar photovoltaics. And what Professor Seba of Stanford University has conjectured, that this way, if the cost comes down, probably it is not many years now when not grid parity, but we will reach God parity. And he has defined God parity in the sense that when the cost of electricity is less than the cost of its transmission, then it's essentially God parity. because you are not to transmit the electricity to the grid. That would be more expensive. So you produce your electricity by solar photovoltaic panels in your home, from the rooftop or from window or from the walls, whatever it is possible, and store it, because storage technologies have come up very well. I remember when I was a student, I had met one person, Professor Goodenough in Delhi University. He came for delivering a lecture. And a few years back, as you must be knowing, Professor Goodenough, at the age of 94, has developed that solid-state battery, which are going to make some revolution in the energy storage system. So if that Govt parity can be achieved, maybe 10 years, 15 years, then we may say goodbye to our distribution companies. And we can achieve that very competitive advantage, what we are flagging for renewable sources of energy, that it is possible to provide electricity to every family in every country. Because if everyone gets energy, everyone can live a better life, then all of us would be able to live a better life. Today, in this summit, you will find from the program, there's a panel of distinguished speakers, and they will take up these individual items, the achievement in solar, the projections in hydrogen, and also the innovations which are taking place in the fossil fuel region. Because fossil fuel we cannot do away with. We'll have to keep it, we'll have to work together, but our ultimate goal is to decarbonize our economies by, say, 2050, middle of the century, if we want to survive. Thank you all.
Please give a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Dr. Bandyopadhyay. Thank you, sir, for having joined us.